Hi, friends. Thank you for joining me for Document B, Free Press Expands Democracy. So, we're going to take a look at a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that was printed in a book that was written in 1958. And the quote is this: After Time magazine published a cover story of our movement in February 1957, I thought I observed a lessening of tensions and feelings against me and the movement itself. During this period, I could hardly go into a city or town in this nation where I was not lavished with hospitality by people of all races. So, Dr. King is talking about the civil rights movement, and because of the freedom of the press, people were able to print about the civil rights movement so that everyone was informed of what that actually meant and what was going on in our nation. Dr. King says that um, due to the fact that the press or that the newspapers were allowed to print this information about the civil rights movement and about his vision for people, the people of America, that people were starting to understand things better. It's very easy to become biased against something if you were uninformed about it. If you are more knowledgeable, you're more likely to see things from a different point of view. You're more likely to have empathy for others if you are more knowledgeable about the topic. So if you can understand that prior to the press talking about civil rights and the movements and the things that were going on, the marches or the boycotts and the speeches, if you didn't know what those were, you may not understand civil rights at all, and you may thought, oh well, this doesn't involve me, but it does. It involves everyone in our nation. And due to the fact that the newspapers could now print things about the civil rights and all that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stood for, more people were understanding it and more people were able to be empathetic to the plight of the civil rights movement. So Dr. King is saying, man, without free press, we would not have been able to do any of this. But because our democracy has free press, people can learn about the civil rights movement. They can learn about racism and different parts of our culture that need some changing. Okay, now he's saying, I could. Boy, when all this came out, I could hardly go anywhere in this nation where I was not lavished with hospitality from people of all races. So, people of all races are reading this information. They're understanding the civil rights movement. They're understanding Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s speeches and his passion to bring all the people together as one nation, regardless of their culture. So, your third bucket, second bucket, freedom of the press helps spread democracy.